Why, hello there. I'm really cold right now. For some reason. Oh, right. Because my body is a body that doesn't like me. Okay, so today I wanted to share something with you guys that has actually been very helpful for me, and something that if it's something you want to do, please check with your doctor before doing anything that I share, mostly out of safety for yourself, because that is of vital importance. You are important. Your healthcare is important. So definitely run everything by your doctor before you do anything. So I have talked about compression stockings before here on the channel. Having hyperadrenergic POTS means that passing out for me is something that is inevitable, and it can happen at any point. So something that I do is I wear compression stockings that are 30/40s. So 30/40s are a higher compression, and I also wear ones that are waist high. So they come up to just under my bust, which helps to compress my stomach area as well. So the squishing of the compression stockings actually can help push the blood back up into your head, because when you have POTS, your body is basically just pushing it all into your feet whenever you stand up. Gravity is the enemy, right? So another thing that I do is I use this. So these are called Salt Stick. I don't know if my camera's gonna focus. There we go. So Salt Stick is a brand. I'm not affiliated with them in any which way. I just take them. This is not sponsored or anything like that, but this is something that I use. So these ones are called Potassium, which are a electrolyte replenisher. So it is potassium and sodium chloride. And it is something that I find to be very helpful for myself. It helps to increase blood volume, but it also helps to give you like a little bit of an electrolyte boost. They do offer other ones as well. They have flavors and that kind of stuff, which I can't really take personally, but this is the one that I've been using. And you drink quite a bit of water with them to ensure that, you know, you're boosting up that fluid in your body. So this is something that's actually designed for people with POTS. So I will link it down below, and hopefully that it'll be beneficial for you. I know that sometimes word of mouth, especially in rare, complex illness communities, is pretty much the only way that we get information. That's why I want to share as much information as possible of things that work for me, so that hopefully potentially they have the potassium potential to work for you. So just keep in mind though, I am not a doctor. I'm a patient living with these conditions, and I am sharing information from my perspective and things that have worked for me. So please make sure that you run everything by your healthcare professionals before you try things or add anything into your regime, just to make sure that you're doing what is best for yourself and stuff that your doctors would either agree with and support you in doing. So hydration is important, drinking water. So I drink a lot of water throughout the day. I take these. If I'm gonna eat a bigger meal, I'll take one of these as well, because when we eat, having POTS, all of our blood goes to our digestive system to help us digest the food. So if you're eating a large meal, you're actually going to be doing yourself a little more harm than good. So if you're planning on eating a larger amount of food, I would suggest taking one of the pills as well as drinking water, because I found that that has helped me in the past. So that is one thing. The compression stockings is another thing, which I've talked about before. They do really, really help. And I would recommend talking to your doctor about compression stockings. They are warm to wear. Yes, they can be a pain in the butt, but at the same time, they can really help, especially if you're standing up and moving around and doing a bunch of things throughout the day. They can make a difference. And you can also wear shorts with them. You know, you don't even necessarily need to wear socks if you don't want to. You can't really wear sandals with them unless you get like an open toe format, but I don't do that personally. So there's that. And then there's also doing some exercise. So something that I've been trying to like get back into the habit of doing is doing a little bit of stuff on my stationary bike for a bit, because it can actually help me to be able to feel a little better. Sometimes when I start doing it, I feel really exhausted and I feel like complete garbage. But once I get off of that bike after 10, 20 minutes or so, I do feel a little bit better. Sometimes I have to lay down with my feet up in the air to get that blood recirculating throughout the rest of my body, but I do find it to be helpful, and it's reconditioning my body. One of the things that I've noticed for myself having POTS is that I start to like stop doing things. Like I'll be, oh, I'm tired, I'm not going to do whatever, and I'm just going to sit. Well, when we're sitting around all the time and we're not exercising and stuff, we're actually deconditioning our body. So it's not a good thing, and deconditioning our body can actually make us worse. So implementing a little bit of exercise can actually help. And maybe it's not doing like 20 minutes on a stationary bike straight. Maybe it's doing like 5 minutes on a stationary bike, a little bit here, a little bit there throughout the entire day. So breaking it up into 5-minute segments can actually help, which is something that was suggested to me by my doctor. So again, all of this information is stuff that I have done for myself. It's stuff that I would recommend for myself, which is I have done for myself. But if it is something you want to try, please check with your healthcare providers. And remember that I'm just a patient living with hyperadrenergic POTS, as well as mast cell activation syndrome and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And even though all of these conditions can be a plethora of discomfort and isolation and all sorts of negativeness, there is still hope to live life while being ill. I almost said ick. Brain words. So I have talked about these before. I figured I would do another video just like updating and sharing the stuff again, because hopefully it'll reach more people and hopefully help some of you guys. I know some of it sounds like pretty like meh, you know, but if we don't try the things, we don't know what works for us and we don't know what doesn't work. So it's kind of, you know, a mixed bag of trying out things, seeing what does work, to see if we can get you back to like a better state of being and feeling and that kind of thing. They are hard illnesses to live with, and HyperPOTS does really suck, especially those surges of adrenaline that happen. It's something that I absolutely despise, but it is something that does happen, and learning what to do in those scenarios. So for myself, if I'm having a surge of adrenaline, I will make myself lay down. I'll listen to calming music. I will try to actually like hold my breath for a little bit and then release it, kind of bear down almost. So how do I describe it? It's like when you're going number 2. You know how you like, you kind of like do that like pushy thing? And this might sound weird, but I will hold my breath, do that, and then sometimes I actually can feel my heart rate go down. So I don't know if that's going to be beneficial for you. That's also something that was suggested to me by a doctor. So that's something I try. Another thing that I try is if I feel like I'm going to pass out, I will cross my legs and squeeze my legs together, like squeeze them and just squeeze them and squeeze them and squeeze them. And sometimes I find that that actually helps me to feel a little better, which is also something that was suggested to me by a doctor. So I'm just sharing some little tidbits of weirdness that maybe they'll help, maybe they won't, maybe, you know, they won't work, but it's the hope of trying things and giving things a long enough time before we decide that they don't work is also a thing. Because if we just take, say, one of these one day, and then that's it, and we've only taken one, and we're not giving our body the opportunity to adjust to things, then, you know, there's not enough time in there to determine whether things are working or not, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I don't know if that was helpful. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, or at least the best day possible. And I hope that you'll find something to do for yourself to find a little bit of joy today in the life that you're living today. So take good care, and hopefully that made sense. Take care. Bye-bye. I don't know how many times I said take care.